Obituaries. Next, brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg, 256-245-4361. That's Curtis & Son Funeral Home. Mrs. Ruth Van Zant, age 95 of Childersburg, died this morning at Coosa Valley Nursing Home. Arrangements to be announced by Curtis & Son Funeral Home. Jetty Willadine Hickman Bryan, age 90 of Huntsville, died January 26 at her residence. Funeral service will be today at noon from Curtis & Son North, with burial in the Evergreen Cemetery. And online condolences at curtisondsonfunerals.com. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, Childersburg Chapel, directing that service. Lillian Joyce Jurowicz, age 79 of Sylacauga, died January 27th at Coosa Valley Medical Center. Funeral service on Friday at the North Chapel of Curtis & Son Funeral Home, with the Reverend David Bearden officiating. That service will be at 3 o'clock on Friday. Visitation will be tonight, 5 until 8 o'clock at the North Chapel of Curtis & Son Funeral Home, with burial in the Evergreen Cemetery. Online condolences at curtisondsonfunerals.com. Curtis & Son Funeral Home, North Chapel, directing. Lowell Foster, age 71 of Sylacauga, died Wednesday. Funeral arrangements are incomplete. They'll be announced by Radley Smith Funeral Home. Clara F. Pate, age 98 of Sylacauga, died Wednesday. Funeral arrangements to be announced by Radley Smith Funeral Home. Wanda Brown, age 67 of Sylacauga, died Wednesday at Brookwood Medical Center. Radley Smith Funeral Home announcing. And Mavis Baxter, age 89 of Boynton, Florida, died January 27th at High Ridge Assisted Living. Funeral arrangements are pending. They'll be announced by Radley Smith Funeral Home. Funeral service for Willie Mae Curry to be announced by Anniston Funeral Home. She died January 26th at Citizens BMC in Talladega. Brenda Elston, age 48, died January 28th at Brookwood Medical Center, Terry's Metropolitan Mortuary, announcing. Tequila Gamble, age 30, died Wednesday at Coosa Valley Medical Center. Funeral arrangements are pending. They'll be announced by Sunset Memorial Chapel Incorporated. Celebration of Life service for Charles Edward Mitchell, age 50, will be held Saturday, January 31st at the Townsend Warehouse at 204 West Coosa Street in Talladega. That'll be from 2 until 4 o'clock with the Reverend Roger Hayes officiating. Mr. Mitchell died January 23rd in Anniston. And online condolences at klbrownmemorychapel.com. KL Brown Memory Chapel directing. Funeral service for Mr. Renfro Oliver, age 90 of Alexander City, is today at 3 p.m. from the Chapel of Radley Funeral Home. Reverend Lamar Veazey officiating. Burial in the Hillview Memorial Park with veterans honors provided by the Alexander City Veterans Honor Guard. The family receiving friends 1:30 to 2:30 today at the funeral home. Mr. Oliver died Monday, January 26th at Bill Nichols State Veterans Home. He was a member and teacher and deacon at Wayside Baptist Church. He was also a World War II veteran and served in the U.S. Army as a member of the 721st Field Artillery Battalion in the European Theater of Operations. The family will accept flowers or memorial contribution can be made to the Wayside Baptist Church, 21 Wayside Circle, Alexander City, Alabama, 35010, or to one's favorite charity. Radley Funeral Home directing. Funeral service for Mr. Bobby Lamar Bailey, age 87 of Alexander City, is today at 11 a.m. from Duncan Memorial United Methodist Church, with the Reverends Robert Mount and Lennox Mallory officiating. Burial in the Hillview Memorial Park with veterans honors provided by the United States Army. Mr. Bailey died Tuesday, January 27th at his residence. He was a United States Army veteran of the Korean War. Radley Funeral Home directing. And a celebration of life service for Mr. Manford Durrell Jackson of Alexander City. That will be held today at 11 a.m. from the Chapel of Radley Funeral Home. Reverend Tim Harris officiating. Burial in the Evergreen Cemetery in Sylacauga. And the family asks that you consider memorial contributions in lieu of flowers to the Colmer Memorial Baptist Church, 341 East Church Street, Alexander City, Alabama, 35010. And funeral service for James D. Keller Sr., age 90, is this afternoon at 1 o'clock from Mount Canaan Baptist Church in Vincent, with interment in the Mount Canaan Cemetery. The body will lie in state at the church 1 hour prior to the service. Mr. Keller died January 23rd at Shelby Baptist Medical Center in Alabaster, and Community Funeral Home, Sylacauga, in charge of the arrangements. This obituary report brought to you by Curtis & Son Funeral Home, the North Chapel on Highway 21 in Sylacauga, and the Childersburg Chapel on Highway 280 in Childersburg. That's Curtis & Son Funeral Home, 256-245-4361.